Hello, welcome to my channel. My name's Kelly and I'm coming to you from Yorkshire in England. I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas. Thank you so much for being here. I want to share with you something very exciting that I think you're going to love. Okay, so I need to talk to you a little bit about how it all happened, okay, because this is, as Bob Ross says, it was a happy accident, actually. So, I've been making some vintage circus papers for a circus themed journal that I want to start this year, among other things. So I've been doing some of these. I started these ones last, I think it was October or maybe November, I don't know. And this is just acrylic on wallpaper lining paper. Okay, let me see. So it comes on this roll, and I have it here somewhere if you want to see it. It comes on a roll, and no, I can't get it. But you get about 10 meters of it. And it's designed to go on the wall. You paste it, put it on the wall, and it goes underneath your wallpaper, your actual wallpaper, for a nice smooth finish, or you can just paint right over it. So it's designed to take a lot of paint. It's thick, durable, and it's cheap. I think it's about £7 a roll for 10 meters. And so I cut some up. I found a roll of it in the back of my shed, and it's gone a little bit discoloured, but that's okay, we don't mind that. And so I started painting some of these in acrylics, done some splattering, and then I dulled them down with some transparent gesso, okay, because I like the matte look on my papers. Okay, so I started off with these. It's all the same paper, right? And this one, done them nice and neat and glorious. Put some gold on this one and some splattering. Beautiful splattering, grunge. So I started off with those. And then I advanced onto packing paper, because that is what we all have in abundance these days. Lots and lots of packing paper. And I wanted a more grungy look. So in the hustle and bustle over Christmas, I was trying to steal 5 minutes here and there to get to my desk so I can create something quick or get something on the go. Because I don't know about you, but I get a little bit moody or cranky if I don't get 5 minutes of me time in my craft room, okay, doing something. And with all the Christmas busyness and everything, I was finding it really difficult to get in here at all. And so with all the busyness, I grabbed some quick paints off of my shelf. I got the turquoise blue, the yellow ochre, and I got this one, which is cadmium red hue acrylic paints. These were already mixed up in these little containers. I have all these little containers, got a little bit of water in there to make them a little bit more fluid, and it's got a little bit of matte medium, acrylic matte medium in there. I grabbed my gesso, and I grabbed my pot of coffee with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, and I started painting some of these, just really rough, quick, with red, blue. So first of all, putting the acrylic down, and then painting over it with the coffee mixture. No, sorry, then putting on some stenciling, just with some ordinary stencils, and then painting over it with the coffee. Okay. But as I was really busy and time was of the essence, I came in and I thought, I'll sod it. Instead of putting the acrylic on, instead of putting the gesso on and then drying it, so I was painting the paper with the paints, then drying it, putting the gesso over the top with a palette knife, then drying it, then painting it with the coffee, then drying it. It was taking a long time. So I thought, I'm just going to plop the gesso on the paper, add on a few splashes of coffee, and spread it out. Oh my God, I was shocked at what happened. I hope you can see what happened. Can you see the texture on here? Sorry for my silicone thingy, it's protecting my finger. I've got a cut on there and I didn't want to get any of the alcohol from the coffee thing in. Can you see what happened? Can you see that texture? I hope you can see this texture. It went like plaster or filler. Really thick paste. Okay, so this is what happened. And I was like, oh my God, it looks like an old wall or a plaster wall or something. I think in America you might call it spackling or like wood filler or something like that. So then I done it again. And again, it happened. I got all these cracks and these lovely textured places on here and all over here. I've done it again and again and again. Look at this. I hope you can see how beautiful and grungy and old this looks. So this side, I just put the gesso on, plain, okay, over the paint, and then I painted over it with the coffee, as usual, as I would do normally. I've been using that coffee to dye my papers and everything for years. It's never reacted in the way this did. And then I mixed the gesso on the paper with the coffee. I'm going to show you exactly what happens. It instantly turns into a thick, like paste. You can't paint it anymore, you have to use a palette knife. But it just looks like old peeling paint, right? So I'm going to show you how it works, and then I'm going to tell you why it happens. Okay, so I'm just going to do this half of this. I'm going to show you quickly, because I think this is amazing. And I think this was such a happy accident. All right. I couldn't believe it. When it happened, I was like, oh my God, what's happened to the gesso? What's happened to the coffee? And to be honest, that coffee pot, because I save all those little coffee pots, and because they always come in handy for water and whatnot. I'm not going to bother changing my brush, anything. These are only little cheap brushes that I got a pack on Amazon anyway. I don't mind if it goes a bit purpley with the blue mixed in there. I just want a bit of colour underneath. And while I've got the red still. So, how was your Christmas? I hope you all had a lovely Christmas. I actually had some family over for Christmas, so it was very busy. I'm glad it's over, so I can get a little bit of me time now. I can relax a little bit more and breathe out. Oh my God, it's crazy. It's over for another year though, right? We've got a whole year, but those years are coming around very quick as you get older. The Christmases seem to get closer and closer together. Right, so I'm going to dry this off. Just put a little bit of something on there. I'm going to dry this off and I'll be back. And I'm back. Okay, so now I'm going to get my gesso. This is a relatively new pot, and I think I've used not quite half of it yet. I want my palette knife. Okay, now I'm just spread it on, and it goes on just like gesso does. Okay. And then that's all I did with that. And then I dried that, and then I painted it over with the coffee. Okay. Which is in this gunky pot. But then, because I was so busy over Christmas, I was like, okay, let's just do it this way. Let's just get it on there and worry about it later. Let's just get it on there, because I was just drying it and then doing it and then drying it and then doing it. Okay? I'm going to tell you exactly why this happens, so you can do it yourself. Right, so it's on there. Let me zoom you in a little bit so you can see. Okay, it is on the paper. I've just splashed the coffee onto the gesso, and you mix it in like this, and look what instantly happens. You get this thick, look, you can't paint it anymore. It has to be spread out. And you instantly get this beautiful, old looking plaster or wood filler or and when it dries, it does dry solid, but you can get cracks in it. And if you put like I think you could put like a resist underneath, like candle wax, for example, where it will resist the gesso and it will look like bits of the plaster have fallen off or something like that. But look at that. Look how thick that actually is on there. And you see, it came out the same pot as the other one. So I'm going to dry this. You can put marks in it, do whatever. You know, this will be good for using with stencils, so you get like an instant paste. And to be honest, I was so busy over Christmas, I didn't even twig on or realise what was happening. This I grabbed. I've got quite a few of these pots. They all look the same. They come with sauces in and stuff like that, and I cleaned them out. It had a bit of sediment on the bottom of the pot, so I just stirred it in and I just started using it as normal, right? But I'm going to dry this and then I'll tell you exactly what this is. I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back. The majority of it is dry. The majority of it is. So in my haste and in my busyness, I grabbed this because it looks like a lot of other pots on my shelf. But when I opened it and saw the sediment on the bottom, I just thought, okay, it's been sitting for about 10 months. 8, maybe 10 months. I don't know how long exactly on the shelf. But when that happened, I was like, I don't understand. What's different? What is different about it, right? It didn't even smell like coffee. But I still did not realise what it was until I was sitting here this evening painting with it. I mean, obviously the gesso acts as a resist anyway, so you can get some really nice vintage like drips and things. If you splash it on it and you let it dry, you get some really nice effects. But then I did get a whiff. I mean, I didn't get a whiff of alcohol, like isopropyl alcohol, and I didn't get any smells of coffee. But what I did get was vinegar. This is rust water. And I did not realise it until I started smelling the vinegar. And then I remembered I'd done a bunch of rust papers early summer, maybe late spring this year. I'd done a bunch of rust papers and fabrics for my journal. And I didn't want to waste the rust water, so I drained it off and poured it into one of these containers. And that's what it is. That's what that is. It's rust water. So basically it's vinegar and salt, and it's had a bunch of metallic things in it, like keys, washers, nails, paper clips, screws, all of that, sitting in there for, I think I left it in there for about 3 days, and then I drained them all off, tipped the water into one of these pots, put a lid on it, and left it on the shelf. And that is what gives you, when you mix it with the gesso, that is what gives you this beautiful texture. I mean, just look at that. Is that not a happy accident or what? So I'm going to dry this and I'll be right back. And I'm back. So even though it does look like rust, and you can get some really beautiful rusty kind of effects with it, you are only limited by your imagination using this. Now, I've used rust waters, iron waters and mordants for years, doing fabrics and boiling the papers with all the rusty things inside, and got some beautiful results. But I still didn't realise that this was what it was, you know. So yeah, it's rust water with gesso. It makes a fantastic vintage looking paste, even rusty looking. So let me just show you. Just move that aside for a second. This is the journal I made with all the rusty papers inside it. And so all these papers with the paper clips on here, all these have been dyed. And laid on top of one another, and envelopes laid on top of one another, and there's some really cool, like, got a spanner in here that's made some really cool effects with these envelopes. And because I like old looking grungy papers and things like that. Okay, so all kinds different things in here. Look at that nail, gorgeous. But yeah, so these were the papers that I did, and I did some fabrics as well with the rusty things, and I put together this journal. It's not finished yet. It's not full or anything, obviously, because I have about 4 different journals that I haven't finished, that I'm still working on, so it's a work in progress. But if you like grunge and you like rusty things and you like messy, old style, vintage, then please consider subscribing to my channel, because that's what I'm going to be doing. That's what I like doing, and I'll be posting videos probably every week. Now Christmas is over and out the way. So thank you ever so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful week until we meet again. If we do, if you come back, if you consider using this technique, then let me know and see how it goes. And if you have any problems, just drop us a line or drop a comment in the comment section below, and I will endeavour to answer your questions. So thank you so much. Until next time, take care and goodbye.